Year two, I don't want to do I don't want to do too much overthinking, but my main goal is, obviously to be the best player I can be and best teammate I can be, obviously. But just cleaning up a few things I had made some errors in last year.
Shavon Revel Jr. went into his rookie season on one leg. He had not fully healed. He knew it. The coaches knew it. And yet, he put on a Cowboys uniform and played anyway. Now, heading into year two, something has changed. The RoboCop knee brace is gone. The coaches are talking differently about him. And Revel himself said he did not feel like himself a single day last season. So what happens when a 6'3" corner with first-round talent finally gets to play healthy? The Cowboys' defense might be about to find out the truth about last year. Let's be straight about what happened in 2024. Revel was never fully right. He said it himself in his own words. "I did not feel like myself." He played through it. He jogged through it. He gritted through every snap without his knee being close to 100%. He only played 333 snaps in total. He did not make his debut until Week 11. The Cowboys were so short on corners that season, there was even talk of bringing back veteran Stephon Gilmore just to add a body to the room. The pressure on Revel to be a contributor as a raw, injured rookie was unfair. He came out of ECU, had a knee setback during camp, and was thrown into a position where the fan base was counting on him before he had even had a real practice. Revel took accountability for it. He said nobody forced him. He told the coaches he was ready, and he went out there. But now he admits that the full picture shows a player who was running on heart and grit more than health. That matters because now you can finally see what a healthy Revel actually looks like. At the film Show E. Devon in a limited injured rookie season, the film on Revel had something real to work with. His size stands out immediately. At 6'3", he fits the mold of a big physical corner. That size showed up against tight end Michael Mayer, where Revel used his hands and length to hold his ground against a player known for bully ball in college. It showed up in run support, where he was not afraid to come downhill and make a tackle in the backfield. His effort also stood out. One clip from his film showed Revel chasing down a screenplay from the opposite side of the field, running full speed to the ball even when his teammates had already geared down. That kind of effort does not get coached into a player. It is already there or it is not. But the film also showed the areas that needed work. His back pedal was stiff. He was not sinking his hips and sitting into his brakes the way an experienced corner does. He played high, meaning he was not bending enough to generate power out of his transitions. Against shifty receivers, those extra steps in his footwork gave up separation. The film on Revel was a picture of a player with real upside but real technical gaps. Gaps that happen to be exactly the type that get fixed with coaching, repetition, and a healthy body. At OTAs are showing here is where the story shifts. At OTAs this offseason, Revel showed up without the knee brace. The RoboCop look that defined his rookie season, that thick brace he was pulling on and adjusting throughout games, it is gone. And it does not just look different. He looks confident. He made a play against Brandon Cooks with no brace, moving freely, showing the kind of fluid athleticism that justified his pre-draft buzz. Coaches were dapping him up on the sideline. Cornerbacks coach Christian Parker has been working with Revel directly on expanding his game. Revel came into the league as a press corner, and a good one. But Parker is developing his ability to play off coverage, to use his feet in space, and to handle route concepts he has not faced before. Parker told reporters they want to see Revel turn it loose once pads go on. Revel himself said working with Parker and defensive coordinator Chris Richard has been different from anything he experienced last season. More technique, more detail, more accountability at the fundamentals level. He said every day is about cleaning up the mistakes from the day before. Revel said about year two, Revel sat down and answered the hard questions heading into this season. When asked if he felt healthy last year, he paused and said no. But he also said something important. He did not feel like himself again until OTAs this offseason. The real training block, February through April, that is when it clicked. That is when he started feeling like the player everyone had him pegged as coming out of college. when NFL teams were debating a first-round grade. His mindset heading into year 2 is not complicated. He wants to clean up the situational details. He wants to play with confidence. He said his confidence comes from being himself, from knowing what he has and knowing what he can do. He also said something that should get Cowboys fans fired up. He said he is going to be the best cornerback in the league someday, and he said it without flinching. That is not bragging. That is a player who has been through a brutal rookie year without his health and is now finally feeling right. He also talked about what he is cleaning up specifically: situational awareness, reading route combinations faster, trusting his breaks out of the back pedal. Those are not foundational issues. Those are the kinds of details that sharpen with reps and a clean offseason. Revel now has both. The question is whether the Cowboys can get that player on the field and keep him there. Why this matters for the Cowboys' defense: the Cowboys' cornerback room has been a concern for 2 years. Losing Trevon Diggs to a torn ACL in 2023 exposed just how thin the depth was. Last season, that same depth chart was still a question mark. But the pieces are starting to come together differently now. Jourdan Lewis is in the mix. The Cowboys have built out the room with enough pieces that Revel does not have to carry anything on his own. He can come in, compete, and earn his role without the weight of being the savior from week 1. That is the ideal setup for a player who is still developing. Revel at 6'3", with length, pressability, run support instincts, and effort that jumps off the film, fits exactly what a modern defense wants on the boundary. The one thing that was missing last year was health. Christian Parker is a technical coach. The emphasis on footwork, hip mechanics, and expanding Revel's coverage toolkit is exactly what the film said he needed. With a full camp ahead, Revel now has the time and the health to actually absorb that coaching. Parker also said the goal is to take Revel beyond just being a press corner. He is good at press, but the Cowboys want him to play multiple techniques: zone concepts, off coverage, things Revel said himself he has not done much of before. That kind of versatility raises his value on the defense significantly. A corner who can only press is a predictable corner. A corner who can press and play off forces coordinators to plan around him. If it clicks, the Cowboys' defense does not just improve in the secondary, it changes. A healthy, technically developed Revel playing next to Jourdan Lewis gives the Cowboys a boundary corner combination that nobody in the NFC East was planning for. Shavon Revel Jr. played his entire rookie season fighting his own body. He was never close to 100%. He ran on grit, showed flashes, and gave the Cowboys enough to believe in. Now the brace is off. The technique work has started. The coaches are talking about turning him loose. Year 2 is not about potential anymore. It is about proving that the player who had a first-round grade coming out of college was never gone. He was just hurt. The Cowboys' defense could look very different by the time the season starts, and Shavon Revel Jr. might be the biggest reason why.